Yo, what's up, guys? Marathon Games or OST round 3. My opponent is fabwooloo, and let's get right into it. Decided to just bring standard teams for this one. Didn't really prep too hard, because there wasn't much information on my opponent, so it didn't really make sense to like overdo it. So, bringing a team that me and my buddy John made, based around Band Card and Zera. Just a pretty nice balance with things like Slobotar, Corvi, which I don't use too much, and Nidoking, which I love, one of my favorites. Just a lot of mons that just click buttons and collect. So yeah, I figured I'd do really well with this team. I did pretty well in testing with it, and yeah, my opponent, he's in a pretty offensive team, very offensive, with like Weavile, Cart, Volcano, which I'm actually pretty scared of at preview because I don't have the best water resist. Like Sobo is really nice, but Spadef's not that great, so it can't actually take like Spec, Steam, Eruption depending on the rolls. There's like min 44, so if he gets 2 good rolls, he's just knocked out. So I have to play in a way where I don't let it in for free too much, which it doesn't get that many opportunities bar like Corviknight, but still. So you gotta be careful of that. Cart, pretty big issue for him because his only answer is Zapdos, which I have multiple answers for, so I just need to remove it, and you can do really well late game. Zera, also incredibly good outside Lando, which I have multiple answers for, like I said. Just need to remove it or weaken it, and then I can late game, bulk up, pretty much kill everything beside Zapdos, which can't even touch Zera back. So yeah, Zera card really good here. Slowbro's data card against Metal Volcano, somewhat, like I said, it's 2 killed by Steam Eruption, so yeah. It's not exactly reliable versus that, and it's offensively pressured a lot versus, say, Weavile cards. So again, just gotta be careful how I play it. T-Tar is there too, really just guarding his Zapdos. It really doesn't do anything else. That's how I like pivot into Bandit Weavile, locked into Dark Move. That's pretty much it. It's pretty useless. Nice thing is though, it lives a hit from Volcania if need be. So yeah, but rocks are going to be very important though for Weavile Volcano out there on 9 boots. Corviknight is excellent, does well versus like almost everything on this team. Like 4 members: Weavile, Cart, Metal, Lando, and I'm rocking helmets, so I can punish those. Yeah, I'm expecting Corv to be MVP this game. Nidoking, he's using a more offensive team, so it's not as useful. Won't get many chances to just pick up kills, but in the right situation, it can, like versus Volcanion, it forces it out, outspeeds it, Zapdos, things like that. Lando, because he doesn't know if I have Ice Beam or not, but yeah, basically planning to either late game sweep with Zera or just pressure his team a lot with band cards once his Zapdos goes down, plus rocks. So yeah, let's hop right into the game. I lead the Nidoking, basically trying to fend off Volcanion because I can't have that thing leading off, basically picking up a kill turn 1. And the funny thing is, like, Zera doesn't actually OHKO it, and Cart's not even Bandit Leaf Blade kills, so Nidoking was the only thing that prevents that. But he leaves Weavile, which is odd. I don't think this had the best lead matchup versus me outside, I guess, Slowbro, but I could be Cobra Body Press for all he knows. So again, pretty odd lead, but it does work out for him, as I'm forced to switch. I'm in reaction right now. Gonna lose a bit of momentum because I'm gonna be on the defensive with these first couple turns, you guys can see. So forced to go Corv, as I have to roost to keep this as healthy as possible for Cartmel, all these things. As you go Zapdos over Volcano, which I think is a misplay because you definitely want to go to the thing I guard the most poorly against. So like Zapdos, for example, I have like multiple answers. I can go Zera, Tar, Nidoking. Like he has to guess if I go to one of my electric immunes, my flying resist. So as a Volcanion doesn't have to predict me, just click Steam Eruption. So I don't agree with this play at all, but it's gonna work out for me as I'm able to roost and get my core out of there. Go to T-Tar. Figured it'd just be the best play. No reason to risk Nidoking on Hurricane or have my Zera take unnecessary damage by myself in card range, things like that. But his Volt Switch gets to play right as I goes Metal. Here I decided to go Cart as a mid ground in case he decided to either Toxic or Thunder Punch. Those are his options there, and never superpower because my initial switch would be either Slowbro or Corviknight, but that doesn't hit either of them hard, so I definitely either go for Toxic or T-Punch there, as I actually opted to double out to Zap, predicting Slowbro or Corviknight. It's crazy. Again, if he was predicting Slowbro or Corviknight, definitely would have went Volcano instead and just applied the most pressure offensively, so again, I'm able to get out of there. It takes a little bit of Sand Chip, which is really nice with card. So it takes like 12% for nothing, which is really nice for me. As I go T-Tar, knowing that that time he wouldn't Volt Switch, because had I just stayed in and click Knock, I think he'd take like 50%. Then he can't come in next time. So it's not really a situation you want to be in or take, that type of risk. So I knew he just Hurricane as I'm able to get the switch into my Tar. Hopefully get up Rocks, and I do. So I break through there as he goes hard. Metal, basically using that as a pivot switch to get the free switch into Lando, knowing that I won't stay in. Even if I did, I don't have anything to hit Lando with. But I go Slowbro here because I know he won't. Even if he did Thunder Punch, I wouldn't take much because he's likely not banded. Likely like a Soul Rest or something. His team is very weak to Dragon Bolt, so yes, AV T-Punch won't do that much, around 30%. So Slowbro is pretty safe, as it also covers sort of Lando double. I'm assuming he expected Core to want to come out so I can get the free defog, because this pretty much shows me that Volcano is definitely specs. I know the Weavile's banded, but definitely specs if he wants to get this defog off so badly. So Slowbro in versus Lando is nice because I'm able to just fire off a nice beam, knowing that he's likely just going to mindlessly Rocks, or he has to defog, like he has to, or else his stuff is going to be taking 25% every time. So punish the Lando hard there, get a huge beam off, really opening up Zera for the late game, which is really nice as he turns out. Obviously not wanting to take another one that's a teleport, knowing that he's not going to stay in. Go to Nidoking, and here pump up the aggression a little bit, knowing that he's not going to leave Volcano in is very useful versus my team. There's no reason to just sack it, especially when it's healthy. So and it's still a huge threat to my team. So I'm going to actually go Nidoking and Sludge Wave, predicting Zapdos. Reason being, if he goes Zap as an Earth Power, that gives him the opportunity to Hurricane. I don't kill him with the next moves. I don't have Ice Beam, so you can Hurricane, then potentially Roost, expecting T-Tone to come out. So then I basically made no progress. So Sludge Wave, I definitely felt was my play. A bit aggressive, but it does work out as he Hurricanes. That miss does not matter, because Nidoking's health is irrelevant in this game, because it dies to everything. Weavile, Metal takes a hit, kills back. So that miss really did not matter at all. So I'm able to knock Zapdos out with the combination of Sludge Wave into Flamethrower, which really opens the door for Kartana. So every time that comes in, I basically collect a Mon from him. So he goes Weavile, and here I'm like, he's likely gonna go for triple Axle, because that 2 kills Corv easily, especially with Adamant. So the reason I know he's Adamant because the banded knock did 50, so min damage is like 40 now with Jolly. But anyway, if you triple Axle, it's 2 kills Core, which really opens up his card and Mel. I figured he'd go for that, but this would beat up, which I'm not sure if that would have 2 killed Core, but he does catch me there trying to pip to Slowbro. That took a ton. Luckily, not all 6 of his Mons are alive, so he doesn't hit me 6 times. So I'm able to keep Slowbro as a sack, but at this point it's pretty much useless. Can't even check my Metal anymore because I'm so low. I'm at like 42 after regen. So I'm gonna pivot to Tar here. Again, just keeping that sack in hand as he beats up again, as I'm able to get up Rocks, which is good. And he basically can't defog as easily anymore because Lando's so low, which is really good. So it goes Mel. As I go Core this time, because if I go Slowbro, that'll die to 2 Thunder Punches, or just Thunder Punch will Bash. So there's no reason to go to that. As again, he makes this aggressive Lando double. I'm just trying to get Rocks off. But it's not really gonna help him because I'm able to get this slow U-turn into Kartana. and fire off a Sacred Sword. Very, very aggressive play. Basically, I know that he can't afford to lose, and I know because if he does, Zero just clicks Plasma Fist CC for free, like every time it collects something. So like, you can't leave Lando in. Doesn't make sense. Even if he did, he'd be taking like 26 from Bandage Sword, because he's with dev, so it would do a lot. And at that point, Knock would be able to do a KO next time Zero comes in. So yeah, but anyway, I knew he wouldn't stay in. It just doesn't make sense too. He needs that. So a sword there, knowing that Mamoru will likely come out trying to pivot in on Knock, and I do catch that, and he's dead. So one of the things I could take a hit from Nidoking is gone. In here, I decide to sack Slowbro. It's the best play. I don't need it to lose to everything. I really won't be able to get an opportunity to slack off. So throw that out there as I'm able to go Nidoking, fire off an Earth Power. He has no switch-ins. And yeah, so I'm able to knock over Canyon. You kind of had to leave it in, because at that point, the only thing it could come in on later is like Corv. And yeah, like there's just really no reason to keep it. I mean, I guess, I mean, for Corv, I guess. But he's still like low on sacks. Kind of had to bank on me like over predicting or something. But yeah, I throw out, he throws out Volcano there as I throw out T-Targets that no longer need it. And go Corv. I go to this over Zero because Zero would allow Lando to come in. You'd be able to take the CC. You turn out, and Corv would be taking more chip. And it's likely to put me in range of triple Axle plus sword card. So and carts as well as a roll to die actually to Adam and Axel. So decided to go Corv, basically because I know he'd stay in to try and weaken me. Bait him to stay in, kill him with a body press. And if his card is not life or a ban, I can knock him out. Or I can roost on him, then knock him out. So I roost as he reveals to be Scar because it does pitiful damage. As I'm able to roost pretty much multiple times to avoid crits and anything like that. A body press there just to get the necessary damage off, keep roosting, then a body press and the game is over because Lando loses to a card and all these things. So yeah, that's game one. I'll be back with the second. I'm back here with game two, and in this one using team based around Lele. Just pretty nice offense. Also like bulky offense because this thing is like Chomp Fair on it. So yeah, I'm also like bulky offense, but it functions like a very offensive team. So just looking at it, Lele bringing that again because I never lose with it because it's broken. So yeah, I always gonna use Lele. Now Calm Mind, just straight up modest Focus Blast, T-Bolt, no Moon Blast because you don't really need that. The only thing it hits is like Mew, but you have like Weavile, Taunt Coco, so really don't need that. Focus plus T-Bolt is like perfect coverage. So but in this game it's not that great. I won't really get many chances to Calm Mind, bar versus like Rotom. Even if I do, AV Mel lives +1 Focus Blast, so yeah, I'm not really going to be focusing on trying to sweep or anything like that with it. And it's also offensively checked by Weavile and Zera, so it's really not going to be doing much besides just firing off attacks. But yeah, Pharaoh kind of just beats everything on his team. Like 5 members. Just clicks Leaf Seed. It's just super annoying. Spikes, not that great if it's Trans Balloon. It's not hit by Spikes. Zera, Weavile could be Boots. So really the only thing hits is like Mamoru. So I'm not really going to be focusing on Spikes. Mostly just clicking Leaf Seed and being annoying. And yeah, Pharaoh is extremely good. Does over his Rotom, Mamoru, all these things. Chomp is there solely to guard against Zera. I don't really want to throw it into Tran and let it get weakened or potentially toxic because I really need that to check the Zera aura. So and it's just really nice with that. Rocks are pretty important. Don't wear down Lando and Rotom. Turn by turn, Mantine is there too, got against the Heatran. Yeah, man, I think this Mantine is really underrated because Heatran, they run a lot of offensive sets nowadays, like with no taunt or toxic. There's a balloon one, usually runs like Eruption, Magma Storm, Earth Power. So Mantine completely counters that, completely counters Rokorona, hard checks plus Seth. So I do think Mantine has a niche in this meta game, but yeah, anyway, Mantine's purpose is to guard against that Heatran. Does well versus Lando too. Just gotta be mindful of Toxic. Weavile, huge issue. Doesn't really have a Dark Resist. I don't consider Weavile a fantastic Dark Resist because his Fizz Def is pretty poor. So it's taking, I think, like 60 from Banded Knock. So yeah, it's just smoked by that. Metal doesn't really want this vest gone because it's gonna hamper his ability to check Lele and Coco. Everything else just gets rocked. So every time Weavile comes in, just have to play it smart. Get it in safely. Basically pick up a KO. It's like Weavile is extremely good. I don't know why I tried to combine extremely and incredible right there, but anyway, last one, Coco. It's nice. I mean, he has Lando and AV Metal to check it, but Lando can be toxic. Metal can be worn down by U-turn plus T-bolt and Pharaoh, things like that. So Coco's solid. So yeah, again, very offensive team by him. Main concern is Rotom because I don't have any answers for Wisp, so that could be pretty annoying. But yeah, other than that, should be fine. I guess Banded Weavile, but I don't think he'd be banded again. So yeah, let's just hop right into the game. Again, Pharaoh plus Chomp should be able to beat his team defensively along with Mantine. Yeah, let's just hop right into the game. So, yup, who else expected that? But anyway, he leaves Heatran as I leave Pharaoh because it has perfect lead matchup versus everything beside Heatran. He just so happens to lead with it. So I get the lead matchup wrong twice in this series. So forced to hard switch out. This is my Mantine, just the best play. He's Balloon, so my Chomp actually cannot touch him because I'm defensive Chomp with Toxic, Flamethrower. I don't have anything to break the Trans Balloons, which is pretty funny. So I have to go Mantine here. As long as he doesn't have Toxic or Taunt, I'm fine. So go straight for the default. That's my best play. I don't want to Rocks up as I go back to the Pharaoh. So it's the same cycle again. Pretty much a repeat of turn 1. He goes back to Heatran. As I believe he doubles to Zera as I go Mantine, pretty much screaming to me that he doesn't have Toxic, because if he did, he would have went for it. So yeah, it means that every time Mantine comes in Rich Train, he's just free to Fog or Scald. So that's really nice information to have. So he goes Zero just to get the knock on Chomp. I knew he'd knock, very obvious. I don't need to predict there and stay in the Mantine and Scald. It doesn't make sense. Very low reward play, just high risk for no reason. Because even if I got the play right, like Mantine knocked, it's much harder to check Heatran and keep Rocks up at the same time, because then I'm forced to Fog unless I want to take 25% every time. So yeah, definitely don't want that situation. So just go hard Chomp, just the best play, because it allows me to get a Rocks as Zero just takes a lot of damage there, but he is leftover, so he's going to be able to get that back turn by turn. As I go for my Rocks, follow that up with a Toxic. Definitely want to Lando Toxic because it helps Coco out long term. Any hard switches Lando out. Is not wanting to take more rounds of Toxic, or just hard switching, down into U-turn, take more damage, so it makes sense. So he goes Tran because it pretty much walls me. As I'm able to go Mantine here. Don't want my Chomp taking unnecessary eruption damage, and I can't touch him, so obviously I'm not going to stay in for Alpha Scald because it's safe. Nothing really wants to take that beside Rotom. And Rotom is annoying, so if I can just whittle it a little bit, that'd be great. So I go to Coco here over Pharaoh because Pharaoh would just allow Heatran to come back in, which I don't really want, and Coco just applies the most pressure offensively. But basically forces Lando to take Rocks and Toxic, forces Metal in, and pretty much keeps Heatran out because you don't really want to go to that and get your balloon popped. So Coco just has great positioning versus everything else as he goes Metal off the Volt Switch. As I'm able to U-turn, basically do 10% in combination with Rocks. And I go Pharaoh, just the best play. Could have went to Chomp and like scouted for superpower, but the thing is I don't want Chomp taking any damage at all, because I need it as healthy as possible to constantly check the Zero aura. So I'm not gonna throw that in, especially like he could Ice Punch there and my Chomp would just be dead, and then I have no like Plasma Fist switching. So I'm definitely not doing that. As I go Pharaoh, just the best overall play. So I'm able to fire off a lead seed, I think. Yeah. No real reason to spike. I don't need extra damage on Zera. When I have a solid answer to it. Really, the only thing like spike will help me versus my model, but if he's not superpower, it's not an issue anyway. So I figured at least he would just be better to keep Pharaoh as healthy as possible, and to punish whatever wants to come in, mainly Heatran. So Orlando just gets heavily punished by Leech Seed, Rocks, all these things, as pulled a pretty aggressive switch into Weavile, knowing that he never U-turn there. It's pretty shit play, and leaving Rocks up. Definitely defog there always, because you don't want like me having Rocks, U-turning out on Pharaoh, Orlando taking more damage. It doesn't make sense. So I know we do that. Wouldn't go for an offensive play that time, as I'm able to get Weavile in for free, and I'm able to fire off a knock because Orlando would die at 51. He's likely for death. So something's getting smacked here. Rotom is 2 KO'd easily, very easily by Bandit Knock, and that goes down. Tokyo Zera. I actually thought about this play for a minute. I wanted to double knock like super badly, because the Chomp switch is like so obvious. I thought he'd like double to Weavile, and basically if I catch Weavile there, the game's over, because he'd be down. He'd be down another mon, he'd be down like 4-6, and he can't knock me out back if he's not low kick, which he likely isn't. So I'll be able to knock, and then the only thing I can threaten Chomp is dead. And yeah, so that's pretty much what I was thinking. I thought about this play for a minute, but I decided to make the safe play, not being like super risky for no reason. I go to Chomp, figuring that even if he double to Weavile, I had to safe switch to Pharaoh. If he's not banded, he cannot 2 kill me. So that's my thought process there. So figured there's no reason to risk and try to rush the game like that, because actually put me in a bad spot losing Weavile. That's my best thing versus teams. So it does work out for me, as I do get to play right. CC was fine by him anyway, because he's just weakening Chomp a little by little, so that he's setting up for the late game bulk up. So it makes more sense than just mindlessly doubling, especially if he's not banded. You won't be able to kill Pharaoh, like I said. So yeah, very savage play. Go hard Lele on the Tran. Don't go Mantine, mostly in case he wanted to double to Zera on Mantine. It covers for that, so that I avoid Chomp taking more damage. And Lele, obviously never dies in one hit to Zera. So but he goes for Eruption. My Lele gets messed up completely. It's funny because I actually calced after the game. I didn't calc this like during, so I basically just threw Lele in. It was a thought process behind it, but I didn't. Basically, I didn't want to go Mantine again. As Lele applied the most pressure, I figured he just Stealth Rock. He just kind of needs those up, to get more damage on Chomp, things like that. But anyway, wanted Lele in, so I just fire off attacks. I figured this would be my only opportunity, but in this case, I'd only be able to fire off one attack because I'm at 1%. Because the max roll and Eruption is actually 99% with Modest, so he does get that max roll. It doesn't matter because I would have died to a Life Orb hit anyway. So I missed the Focus Blast, which actually helps me because I'm able to Side Shock the next turn, knock out the land. They probably figured I'd be choiced. That's probably why he stayed in. I mean, he had no switching anyway. Doesn't really want anything coming in. Could have went to Weavile, which would have been a really good play, but I don't think he'd risk that. So I just Side Shock there just to get my kill. And Lele still did his job. We got a kill, knocked out the land, which is really nice for Coco. So and Chomp. So I go Weavile in a double down because it deals with Heatran and my metal, as I'm packing banded low kicks. So no, it doesn't deal with my metal. It deals with, I meant to say it deals with his Weavile, not his my metal. So I'm able to go to that as I pull the switch into Melmetal, really solid double on his part, predicting Ferrothorn there, because I went to that last time. It's really obvious, as it's going to pull a bunch of switches here, a lot of sequences. He goes from Tran to Zera when the Mantine's coming, and then Plasma Fist, so that sequence basically gained him nothing. I definitely would have CC'd there to get the extra damage. Now here, again, he knows that I'm warned by his Tran. So knowing that, again, aggressively double into Weavile, pretty risky because he could have CC'd there, but I felt it was a risk I had to take just to basically finish this game. I'm tired of this Tran coming back in for free every time. If I go Mantine, he actually can go Melmetal. Could risk a burn, but he could go to that. It'll just prolong it. So Weavile basically, the double guarantees me a kill. And prevents Heatran from getting up box, which is what I was thinking. So I get to play right as I'm basically able to get a kill, knock out the Heatran clean with the low kick. Knock, I'm not going for that. It only does 60, 70. It's like a roll to kill from there. I'm not gonna risk. And Tran goes down, which is really nice. So at this point, Chop can just click EQ. I don't need Mantine anymore, so I'm just gonna throw it out. No reason to take any more damage with Chomp. And I figured that he knew I was sacking Mantine, so he just Plasma Fist. So I'm just playing around a little bit for no reason. And I go Chomp here. So I thought he Plasma Fist, but it doesn't really matter. As long as I don't let it take another hit, I'm fine. Even then, Zera is so low to the point that it dies to Gleam plus Ice Shard from Weavile always, so I'm fine in that sense. So other EQ, because I get a kill with it. Double EQ, knock on my motor, goes Weavile. SD is only shatter winning, so I know that I go for EQ. Basically putting him in range of both my Weavile and my Coco. Because Coco actually does not kill Weavile from full Gleam, so had to EQ there. Could have went to Pharaoh, but I didn't really want to do that because of crits and stuff. I mean, even then it didn't matter, but it was just better to EQ. At that point, I don't need Chomp, so this is the safest play. So I sack Mantine, even if he SD'd again, predicting the sack like on some crazy stuff. It didn't matter because my Weavile would always live. I'm able to knock him out, and he's forced to touch Pharaoh because he's likely Axel, things like that. So then he'd be in guaranteed range of Ice Charge, so it does min 23%. So yeah, so basically that's why I sack Mantine. So I sack that, basically keeping Chomp just as an insurance versus Zera in case something goes wrong somehow. But it should be the end of the game. Able to U-turn and bring in Chomp, basically guaranteeing that he gets no chances to bulk up. And yeah, I'm able to think the CC. Chomp took so many hits from Zera this game, it's crazy. And I'm knocking him out with the EQ. So pretty solid game, very offensive. Yeah, it's very, very fast-paced game. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll be back with round 4. And yeah, see you all next time. Peace.